the question that we are going to be asking you tonight on the show. Do you even pay attention to the lyrics of a song when you enter, let's say, a club? Well, next time when you visit one, do pay some attention. Listen to the words to which you may be grooving towards. A few questions for you before I tell you why you must pay attention. How much is too much? Can anything be passed off under the garb of creative freedom, is what many are asking. I'm asking you these questions because misogyny, objectification of women, is now being glorified in the name of artistic freedom. At least that has been the objection. Under lens are two songs by two extremely popular stars and artists, Karan Aujla and Yo-Yo Honey Singh. Naam to suna hi hoga. Yes, I'm talking about the popular Punjabi singers and rappers making waves not just in India but across the world with their songs. But what's behind the songs? Every song is made up of words. What about the words? Now everyone is out there. They're making music, but it seems like it's time for them to face the music. Well, the Punjab Women's Panel has taken suo moto cognizance of the objectionable, quote-unquote, objectionable language which has been used against women in their songs. The Director General of Police has been advised to ask and investigate and take action. The two singers, Karan Aujla and Yo-Yo Honey Singh, have been asked to be present at the Commission's office on the 11th of August to explain their lyrics to the Women's Commission. The concerns have been raised with Karan Aujla's latest song, which is MF Kabru, and Yo-Yo Honey Singh's extremely popular song, Millionaire, which came out sometime last year. So let's take you through the concerns which have been raised by the Commission. Let's explain what exactly it is that the charge is that they are facing. The first charge is that the lyrics are misogynistic and they are inappropriate as per the Punjab Women's Commission. It also says that the songs are promoting harmful stereotypes as well in society and use unacceptable explicit language. That music is a powerful cultural force, but don't misuse it. Don't misuse music to degrade women, is what the Women's Panel has said. But let's take you through the specific parts of the song that have raised these concerns, and you yourself can decide if this is misogynistic or not. Let's start with Karan Aujla. Remember, this is his very famous song which has been under the scanner of the Women's Panel. This is MF Kabru. And what really is it? Profanity or is it swagger? We'll let you decide. This is the lyric. The exact word is, a word that I'm not going to say on air for sure. Gabru, I'm the son of Punjab. Then another word that he says, we make enemies wear bangles. So many are saying that this is degrading a symbol of woman. Also, Karan Aujla's song says, you look like a shot of liquor, girl. Now, these are the lyrics that are there in his song, MF Kabru. Let's also look at Honey Singh's Millionaire. That is one of the songs. We'll ask you, is this profanity or is this swagger? One of the lines there says, I have an Italian maid and I have fat cigars. I am explicit there, millionaire. So I am a millionaire and he's got an Italian maid. Many are saying that this is not swagger. This is just profanity. Another one of the lines he says, I'll get you to do a pole dance for me every day. Many are saying that this is offensive towards women. Now, if you're wondering that this attitude of hits ke liye kuch bhi karega is limited to only one part of the country, well, you'd be wrong. It is quite rampant. It is quite rampant across the length and breadth of the country. It's not just about the Punjabi film industry or the Punjabi music industry. In fact, just earlier this year, in March, remember Telangana's Women Commission had threatened legal action over what it called obscene Telugu songs as well. In fact, the Commission also issued a warning to the entire film industry after receiving several complaints about derogatory songs. In fact, these are some of the songs which they have already raised objections towards, saying, and I will explain what the observations have been. The observations are that the dance steps are vulgar and that they demean women. Second thing that they said is that the film industry must exercise self-regulation, that all film groups must be warned to act with responsibility. In fact, stop indecent dance steps that belittle women. Moral responsibility is to give positive messages out. It also says especially to the women, to the children, to the younger audience whom they are catering towards. And as per the Telangana Women's Panel, it is the duty of those who have millions of followers. But what's important to note here is, when it gets noticed, it makes headlines. But when it doesn't, it perhaps seems to be an endorsement. Is that the reason why they are getting encouraged to make such content? But then, of course, there is the other side of the story. There are derogatory lyrics as per some, but then people seem to be lapping it up. Why is it that there are millions of fans, there are millions of hits and views which are streaming in? Why are people grooving to these lyrics if they are so very offensive? We'll just show you the statistics, and you can perhaps have the answer. Because I certainly don't. Because you have YouTube. If you look at Karan Aujla's MF Gabru, this is the song which is in controversy. Look at the number of YouTube views, which is 3 crore, 48 lakhs, 92,954 views when we last checked. If you look at the number of likes, 385,000 likes on YouTube alone. It is the third number on trending charts as well. It's not just on YouTube. Look at Instagram. On Instagram, it has 984,000 likes. It has 58.7 thousand shares on Instagram. Just to give you an idea. Now let's look at Spotify. This very song, which is apparently something which is offensive to women, has as many as 22,90,229 hits as well. By the way, Yo-Yo Honey Singh's Millionaire, the second song, is also not a new song. It has been released, remember, just about a year ago. But look at the popularity of this song. On YouTube, you'd be surprised to see how popular this song has been of Yo-Yo Honey Singh. It has about 39 crore, over 39 crore hits that you have on YouTube. There you have it, the number of views. So 39 crore, 62 lakh, 32,037 people have viewed this very song. It has 6 million likes. Imagine, 6 million people have liked it, not just heard it. On Instagram, it's got 2.3 million likes. The number of shares is 34.9 thousand. The number of reels, other people who were dancing to their songs, was 2.1 million people that they were using this song to make reels out of. Gives you a sense of how popular this is. On Spotify, it has a whopping 17 crore 87,000 lakhs 65,841 hits. This is on Spotify alone. Of course, all of this is because it is about a year old. But nonetheless, just given to the numbers and what the numbers really are telling you. Let's also tell you how popular these two stars are. Yes, many are saying that they are offensive, but look at their popularity charts. Let's break it down into numbers. They may be irresponsible as per some, but they are definitely popular, and you really cannot ignore this. Look at the net worth of Honey Singh. His net worth is 217 crore rupees. Karan Aujla's net worth is 108 crore rupees. Then look at the Instagram followers that he has. It is 19.4 million Instagram followers who are, remember, don't just become a follower, you have to opt to become a follower. Then you have Karan Aujla, who has 10 million Instagram followers. When it comes to YouTube subscribers, people who have subscribed to their YouTube channels, for Honey Singh it is 7.4 million. For Karan Aujla, it's 4.18 million people have subscribed to them. Gives you a sense of the popularity of the two stars. So let me go across to our panelists today, and we'll ask them what really is driving these songs to become such popular hits. Today, joining us on the show, we have Nasir Abdullah. He's an actor. Also, we have Nimisha Srivastava, an activist. Nasir Abdullah, I'm going to come across to you first, because we know what the women's panels have said. They have said these are offensive, these are degrading. You have such massive following, you must set the right example. So is this creative freedom, or is this cringe when it comes to misogyny?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching what you were saying about all the followers and the popularity. So that gives one indication that whatever Honey Singh is doing, whatever he's pouring out, has a lot of appreciation. I am not a follower. I have barely heard half a song or two of his because it's not really my style, but I understand that in this day and age, people's, the tastes have really changed, okay? So what I'm saying is, I don't know what the...
Oh, well, there seems to be a bit of a problem there with the audio-video connection. We'll try and reconnect with Nasir Abdullah. Let me go across to Nimisha. Nimisha, we are just speaking to Nasir Abdullah, and it's interesting. Look at the number of followers. Even that's what he's saying. Yeah. If this is offensive, why are people following them? Why are people liking them and subscribing to them? And if people do like it and subscribe to it, should we just let it be?
It is definitely offensive, and I'm glad that it is being talked about how offensive it is. But at the same time, I think as people who are concerned about women's rights, about respect of women in our society, I think we need to, more than penalize individuals, we need to understand why this is happening. We need to understand, and I'm sure if we go down sort of a little bit deeper into the numbers, I'm sure we will see that a lot of young people are now subscribing, to these songs, and that is what makes these kind of lyrics and musical songs, like these kind of rappers, really stars. So what is it, and can we have those conversations? I think, yes, it is a good starting point to identify these people and ask them that, why exactly are you promoting this kind of a way of thinking? But then at the same time, I think this is a very limited approach to take. We need to have larger conversations about why this is so popular and what is really going on. And I would not say that this is an absolutely new phenomenon. Yes, the language has become more crass. It has sort of, the crassness has become more popular. But, if you remember, say, we used to have Tuntun, the character of Tuntun, in so many films. And everyone used to laugh. And there are so many stand-up comedians who have made their entire careers making jokes just about women. I sometimes feel like asking them that if you were given a rule that you cannot joke about women, will you actually have any content left? So
but
this
now
is
that's a very important point that you're raising. In fact, now we are even being told that in Blyton that we grew up in was actually deeply misogynistic. But Nasir Abdullah, should we just evolve with time? I believe we have you back on the line. Should we evolve with time? Because, and I think I agree with Nimisha, when I was preparing for the show, I spoke to a lot of people just to understand what these certain lyrics were, the words were, which I had trouble understanding. It was mostly the younger ones who are in their 20s, who seem to know each and every word, each and every song. So that is the demography that they are going for. And it's working. Should we scowl at them?
Okay, listen, the language has really changed a lot, and a lot of words that earlier were not ever used, they've been using them for over 2 of the decades, and it just gets more decadent at times, So, I mean, what do? This is the way people are talking. I see teenagers using expletives very casually, and it's a part of the Punjabi culture, to use those things, and it's harmless to use that, apparently, for 40 or 50 years. So I think one needs to sit down and understand what is happening. Is there really something that is affecting the spirit of the people of India, the youngsters? Is it really doing anything? Because this is entertainment. They listen to this stuff and then they move on. There are so many serious things for them to do, earn a livelihood, study, go abroad, do stuff, and, ultimately get married, have a family. So there are so many issues around, okay? So I can't imagine suddenly some forces, some of the women, and so sex is used blatantly, abusive words are used accordingly because they're a part of our culture. Let's face it. All this, whatever they say.
Nasir Abdullah, on the flip side, let's pull out the visuals of Tollywood on our screens here. Some of those visuals there, much as we'd love to blame Gen Z for the kind of words that they use, some of the dance steps which have been used have been pulled up by the Telangana Women's Panel as well, saying this is derogatory. you have, and this is something that the actor Madhavan had also spoken about, that you have old actors romancing girls who are half their age, who are their daughter's age, and the kind of steps which happen. So much as we'd like to say it is a Gen Z phenomenon, this has been there in a lot of film industries, Nasir Abdullah.
Right. So what is the question?
So the question is, can we just blame the Gen Z? Because there is a pattern of misogyny which has built, perhaps not now, for many decades now. And it continues across.
Yeah, it's always been there one way or the other. And things have also dramatically changed for the Indian whatever cinema. Earlier, a girl, all she had to be reassured was that everything will be fine. She's in the family way. She's going to be pregnant, and most probably it'll be a son. And she was assured. So there were these very simple, straightforward, suffering at times, and just going along with it. And they seem to be happy with it. I'm not very sure, but the fact remains, things have changed. People have accepted very loud music. You go into a movie theater, my eardrums get shattered. I carry earplugs with me so I can put some of the cotton wool inside so my eardrums don't get any further ruptured. It is so loud. Everything is so loud. So I guess the language is also loud. And that needs to be worked out. They have to have a proper discussion. Right. Suddenly they freak out. Suddenly there is this thing on a TV channel. Oh, misogyny. Oh, disowning. Oh, they are destroying the culture of the nation. Ye ho raha hai, ashleen, and obscenity, etc. Suddenly they bring it up on a channel very aggressively, vigorously, and I would say stupidly and arrogantly, which is not the way to do with it. I do not approve, I don't care for the songs and the music that is happening. But I accept the fact that it has been accepted by the Gen Z, the people around, the youngsters. They seem to be flowing with it, and they seem to be very happy with it. You have given the consensus. You have given the statistics of how many follow. It's like
Absolutely.
1/4 of the population or 1/5 of the population.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge amount. So what do you do? So
what do you do? Nimisha Srivastava, let me bring that point across to you. What do you do? Would it really help? Today, the women's panel has said, yo, Honey Singh must come and depose before the panel. You must have Karan Aujla coming and deposing. But are they really the culprits, or are they the victims of popular culture? If that is what people want, hits ke liye kuch bhi karega.
I mean, I would not like to label them either as the main culprits or the main victims. I would actually like to sort of disagree with Mr. Abdullah to the extent that there is a certain amount of acceptance that we do need to have for that generational divide. I remember that reading once in an old issue of Filmfare that Sharmila Tagore's picture in a bikini caused a huge uproar, I think in the 60s or something, right? And at that time it was like, oh my God, so indecent, right? So that way, yes, we, like the standards of like sort of decency, morality are changing, and we do need to understand that there is a lot more conversation now about bodily autonomy, physical desires. That said, I think the problem, one core problem that I would like to highlight is that we have two black and white categories. I read somewhere that moral responsibility was cited as the reasons for
by the Telangana State Women's
Right.
Commission.
So either it is heavily moralistic, that how can you say these dirty things? This is disrespectful. Or you have this kind of really sort of vulgar, demeaning way of talking about sex and sexuality and sexual desire. The very fact that sex, sexuality, autonomy of bodies, people being attracted to each other, particularly adolescents, that is not taken as a normal biological phenomena anywhere. There is no conversation about that anywhere. The age of consent in our country currently is 18, which means that we are all actually under the impression that before 18, there is absolutely nothing sexual that is
possible. But the question is, that conversation, I think, Nimisha, all of us would agree, the conversation must happen, but should this conversation happen even in the creative realms? In the creative realm, Should it be about creativity and accessibility? And at the end of it, let's accept it. It's a business for them. Should they go where the money is? Should they go where the hits are? Or should they do what they feel or what a women's panel feels is the moralistically right song to do? Well, we'll leave it to our viewers. Here on this show, we don't come to a conclusion. We leave thoughts behind, which hopefully is something that the viewers will come to a conclusion by themselves. Thank you so much. Pleasure to have Nasir Abdullah's very candid thoughts on our show, as well as Nimisha Srivastava. Well, with that, we are going to be slipping into a short break. Don't go. Leave thoughts behind, which hopefully is something that the viewers will come to a conclusion by themselves. Thank you so much. Pleasure to have Nasir Abdullah's very candid thoughts on our show, as well as Nimisha Srivastava. Well, with that, we are going to be slipping into a short break. Don't go anywhere. Lots more on the other side.